We're going to be covering everything, the exact systems, as you can see here, from start to finish that I used to close $31,000, almost $32,000 in cash collected in the bank in the last 4 days. As you can see here, April 28th to May 1st, which was yesterday. Today is, as you can see right here, May 2nd, $31,000 in 4 days. We have it all getting paid out. As you can see, I'll go to the balances tab here so you can see I'm not, full of shit here. As you can see, we got 3,000 paid out on May 1st, 12,000 here, and then we still got about 15,000 coming through in the Stripe. So look, how did we do this? I'm just a 21-year-old college dropout. My business partner's a 20-year-old college dropout. How did we do this? What are the systems we used? I'm going to show you absolutely everything. So regardless of what your situation is, whether you have zero experience and you want to start an AI agency, or you're already running an AI agency and you're just not at the point you want to be, or maybe you're running an SMMA or some sort of other online business and you want to transition to this AI agency space, do you see it as such a massive blue ocean opportunity? I'm going to show you exactly how you can do it regardless of that opportunity. Let's get right into it. Have it all laid out. We're going to be covering a few main things here. So first, let's go up here because there's a couple main things that we're going to be covering here. One is, how do we go from a commodity to selling a specialized offer? If you don't know what a commodity is, it just means it's something that you can get anywhere. It's not very high value, and typically you can't charge nearly as much for it, right? There's a lot of different people selling the same thing, and that's where you'll see your traditional SMMA offers. B, they're more commoditized because a lot of people can do it now. Facebook ads, lead gen, appointment setting, those types of agencies, they don't do nearly as well anymore as they used to 10 years ago because everybody and their mom is running one. I saw my grandma. She said she was starting an SMMA the other day. She didn't really, but that's just to show you that really anybody can do this. And these are typically the prices you'll see. I was running an SMMA when I first left university, and I was only charging $1,500 a month per client. Now I'm charging $9,000, $12,000, $8,000, $6,000 up front, plus $500 to $1,000 a month for these clients because I'm selling them an AI infrastructure that providing them a ton of value, and they're more than happy to pay these prices because of how much it's providing for their business. And that's a specialized offer. I'm going to show you exactly how we do that by following the AI agency success pyramid. There's a few main things involved in this, and we're going to go through all of it. So don't even worry. By the end of this video, you're going to have everything you need. One is niche selection. 2 is client acquisition. 3 is prospect qualification. 4 is deal closure, securing that money. 5 is fulfillment outsourcing, and 6 is repetition, process repetition, so you can keep this cycle going over and over again, because you don't want to do it just once, then it's just a fluke. So how do we know what we're doing? As you can see, we made 30,000 in the last 4 days. We made well over $500,000 now. We're pushing the 600K mark, actually pretty close now, selling AI. I'm 21 years old, and we spent a lot of money learning how to do this stuff. In the last 15 months, we spent over 100K learning how to market, sell, fulfill, build systems, scale, all this sort of stuff. But I'm going to put a good amount of it into this video, condense it here, so you don't need to spend that kind of money. You can get it all from this free YouTube video. So let's do it here. We did it the hard way. We're going to show you how to do it the easy way. Let's get down here and let's start with the first section here. The first section here is identify business needs, because you're going to need to know what to offer these businesses. Hint, it's going to be voice AI. That's the highest value offer that we can do with AI right now. It's the most bang for your buck, to where it's not too much fulfillment for you and you can charge a ton for it, and it's providing a shit ton of value to these businesses. And so you need to know what need this business has that you can fulfill with the voice AI. So let's go up to here and let's see, what are the main things that we can fulfill for? So there's 3 main avenues in the business that you can usually charge a ton for. These being lead generation, so getting more leads for the business. 2, booking appointments, converting those leads to book appointments on the calendar. And 3 is sales, where you're actually closing these leads and bringing the cash through. And the reason businesses are willing to pay the most for these is because they all directly lead to more money, right? So there's other things they can pay for, right? Systems, operations, fulfillment, all this type of stuff. But businesses love paying for these 3 because it leads to more money. If you get more leads, you're going to make more money. If you get more appointments, you're going to make more money. If you get more sales, you are making more money. So that's why those are the most important. And so look, we're going to mostly be focusing on the appointments, because let's say you're starting from zero, you have no skills, or maybe you're even under the 15K month mark in your agency, whether it's an SMMA or an AI agency. If it's an SMMA, you might actually have this lead generation skill. If it's not, you're going to just want to focus on appointments, because that's what I'll cover in this video. But if you are a lead gen agency and you know how to run lead gen for businesses, you're confident you can get good results running their paid ads, all the better. Pair that with this, because if you run their ads and the leads you're generating from that, you're also having the AI infrastructure call and book in. You have a really nice AI infrastructure offer right there. It's really the entire process. And so you can charge a good 10, 15K up front for that, and like 1,000 to 2,000 a month just to manage their ads and all that sort of stuff, even more. And let's say we're just selling AI. You build an AI, this is pretty standard. We'll build a voice AI into a business to call all of their leads and book appointments into their calendar. That's pretty standard as well. We'll charge anywhere from like 5 to 10K up front for this, and anywhere from 500 to 1,000 a month for it as well, because that's a really good need we can solve for this business, so that they don't need to call these leads themselves anymore. They don't have to worry about managing people to call these leads anymore. The AI takes care of it all. The third thing that we can cover, this is typically for people that have the most skills in business, is the sales side, right? Because this is maybe placing closers, training sales teams, handling that side of things. I'm not going to go too much into that. I just want to focus on these main 2, but I did want to show all 3 of these because those are the 3 most pivotal parts of a business that businesses are usually willing to pay a ton for. So that's section 1 here. Identify the business needs. Now 2 is selecting a profitable niche. based off those needs. And each niche needs leads, every niche needs appointments, every niche needs sales. But the way that you go about it will most likely be slightly different. So let's go over to here, selecting a profitable niche. So there's a ton of different niches, right? And I always preach that every niche is great. It's much more about the systems you have in place than it is about the niche itself, because we have clients like our partners, they do amazing in all niches, and we show them how to implement all this stuff. We work very hands-on to implement all this. And if you do want to take a look at that, click the link down below, book a call with us, and we'll see if we're a good fit. But if not, no worries, because I think this will be more than enough in this video to help you and all my other videos. So every niche is great because every niche has qualified businesses. Every niche also has unqualified businesses, right? Which is probably a given. We want to be talking to those qualified businesses. We don't want to be talking to those unqualified businesses, which is why making sure you have the systems in place to filter out the unqualified businesses and let the qualified businesses go through your funnel and your sales process is so important. And that's why I always say every niche works. And that's why we have people closing clients in niches, of course, the main ones like home service, the ones you see here, home service, roofers, HVAC, plumbers, electricians, lawyers, accountants, dentists, doctors, real estate agents, info products, coaches, consultants, e-commerce, SaaS, marketing agencies. This is the most slept on one. Also probably the toughest to close clients for. Home service is amazing to close clients for. They're also usually just pretty great guys to work with. And then of course, professional. You can benefit these guys a ton as well. I love home service because of how appointment dependent they are. Info products are also ridiculously appointment dependent. And I don't know a ton of people going after these niches. So I think that's a very, very good opportunity. I would really recommend it. And there's so many coaches out there. I know that when I was running my agency as an old marketing agency, if somebody came to me with this, even though I was making like 7K a month in my marketing agency, this was way back when I first started, I still would have paid 5K upfront for an AI appointment setter, no doubt. And that's what got me into voice AI. But that's phase 2 here, picking your niche. Now, you need to develop your AI offer. So I'm going to take this approach as if, let's say we picked home service, we picked roofers as our niche, just so I have a baseline for as we're going through this, because you're going to want to pick your niche, then develop your AI offer to be a compelling package for that niche, right? And so for roofers specifically, I might frame it as something that like books their quotes or books their inspections or something along those lines, because that's specific to roofers. I'm not going to tell a lawyer that I'll book them inspections because it just doesn't make sense. But number 3 here is picking your offer. And so, like I said, there's 3 main things we can cover here: the lead generation side, the appointment setting, and the sales conversions. With the lead generation, if you do have lead gen experience, go for it. Pair this with your AI offer and you can make a lot more money. But if not, no worries. We'll focus on just the appointment setting side, just the AI. Still make a ton of money. And so the lead generation side, you can run their ads, you can do AI optimization, you can build funnels for them, you can take care of their lead tracking. Building funnels is pretty great as well, because that was one of the things I did when I first started. I charged $1,500 for like 5 funnels. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know pricing. I charged $1,500 for 5 funnels. And so at the time that was, awesome. But now I would charge $1,500 for like a single simple funnel. And so you can charge that, you can run the ads, you can build the funnels. If you're building funnels, running the ads, building their automations, building AI in for their business, you can charge $15K up front for that. And then the appointment setting side, this is where the AI, the voice AI specifically comes into play. You have the AI follow-ups. You can have, the AI doing automated sequences. You can have emails going out. Of course, you want to have emails, text going out. Lead qualification, where the AI is quickly screening the leads. Like for us, we have it calling home service businesses, and we make sure they're making at least $15K a month and that they actually are home service businesses. Those are the qualifications we have the AI do. And I would ask even more if you want, right? Have it further qualify the leads on the call. And then we also have it book appointments, right? That's the most important thing. Is you're going to want to have it book appointments for these businesses. That's the most appealing thing to them. And so you want to do the appointment setting. That's great, right? Book the calendars with the AI, have the AI continue to follow up with these new leads that you're potentially generating with these ads that you're running, or the business is probably already running ads, so you can just have it call those leads that they're getting automatically. And now there's also the sales section here, right? The sales section for a lot of you guys is not going to be too relevant for your situation, right? But you can offer sales if you're good at sales. Don't offer sales training if you haven't closed at least like $500,000 in sales, minimum. And so the sales training, closer placement, coaching the sales team, building an AI assistant to even do role plays, those are all great ways that you can provide farther value to the business. Now, outreach to businesses. How are we going to outreach to these businesses? Because now we identified the needs, we selected a profitable niche, we developed an AI offer, right? Let's say we're going after roofers who are struggling with booking appointments. We're going to build them a compelling AI package where we can run their paid ads to generate them good quality leads, and always have the AI call these leads for them to book them in. Now, how are we going to reach out to these clients to close them, right? Because having an offer is great, but if you're not reaching out to anybody, you don't have any businesses interested, doesn't mean a whole lot, right? So how are we going to reach out to these guys? We have to acquire the leads. There's a couple ways we can do that, right? We can do paid ads, we can do organic content, we can do cold DMs, cold emails. These are all different ways that we can do it. Organic content's amazing. Organic content like this YouTube video that you're watching, this is organic. We get leads from these videos and it doesn't cost us anything. It doesn't cost me anything to post this video. And so we get leads from that, from Instagram Shorts, TikTok. We get leads from those platforms. It doesn't cost anything to post those. They're not immediate. They take a bit of time and consistency to even start getting results. We've been posting on YouTube for almost, like consistently for like 8 months now, which isn't a long time, but we still get leads. It took probably 2 months for us to start seeing a little bit of, actual leads come from the YouTube channel. But now they've grown a decent bit. They're still very small in the grand scheme, but we do get leads from them. Paid ads has been our bread and butter since day one because we didn't have organic content at the start. We just ran paid ads, and that's how we started, and that's how we continue to generate leads because it's very predictable. Organic content is not predictable. You can post a video that crushes, you get a good amount of views or like a huge outlier on your channel, and you generate way more leads. And then maybe you post a video that flops and you don't get the leads you want. It's very inconsistent. Whereas paid ads, it's very consistent and very predictable to forecast exactly what you're going to expect in terms of output from leads, appointments, conversions, just by looking at the metrics that you've generated over the last however long. And so that's why paid ads are very, very good. But then the best thing is to run them all together. Post organic content, run paid ads, and cover both those channels. There's also the way that you can go, which is, cold outreach, where usually people do that if they don't have the funds to start with paid ads, because paid ads are always better. They're way more leveraged. And I'm going to show you an example of some of the ads that we're running right now that are actually doing very, very well. But there's also the cold outreach side of things, right? Where you're going to do cold DMs, you're going to do cold email, you're going to do cold calls even. They suck. They're terrible. They're not fun, but they work. It's a volume game though. Cold outreach is purely about volume. Volume negates luck with it. Volume negates luck with anything. Cold outreach is no different. If you send 100 DMs, I spoke to a guy, he was like, man, I've been doing so much cold outreach and I still haven't gotten clients. I'm like, really? How much have you done? He's like, man, I sent like 70 cold DMs over the last like 5 days. I'm like, buddy, 70 cold DMs and you're expecting what to get the client out of that? I used to send 300 to 400 cold DMs a day. And then maybe I would get a client out of every 1,000 to 1,500 that I send. And so it's a volume game, but that was what I did because I had no money at the start. Now I'm never going to touch it again because paid ads are way better. But at the start, you might have to do that, or you can use softwares like Instantly for a ton of cold email blasts. Great softwares like Apollo, all those types of things where you can find good quality leads and you can blast them with cold outreach. But in terms of the paid ad side, I'm going to show you right now exactly what our ads look like that we're running. As you can see, this is a new campaign we just started not long ago. We spent $300 on it, and we're getting $9 leads, and it's actually doing very well. And so let me show you this here. And so here it is. Let me take you to the ad set level because you can see we're targeting a couple different home service niches here. And these are the ads. Take a look at this.
Are you a home service business owner still wasting time chasing leads in 2025? In the next 60 seconds, I'm going to show you how my team and I are helping over 100 contractors, plumbers, HVAC techs, and roofers book more jobs without ever picking up the phone using AI. More calls, more jobs, less effort, all on autopilot, no more missed calls. No more ghosted leads, no more losing jobs to the guy who just followed up faster. Here's how it works. We install our AI appointment engine and it does all the heavy lifting. It responds instantly to new leads. It follows up like clockwork. It qualifies them. It books the job directly into your calendar. You just show up and do the work. No chasing, no begging, no BS. And the best part? It's 100% done for you. We handle the back end, set everything up, and you're live in under a week. And yeah, we guarantee at least 5 booked jobs in the next 60 days. Or we send you $500 just for wasting your time. So click learn more below and let's grow your business on autopilot.
See, pretty straightforward, but that's the creative, and it does very, very well with home service. Those are actually AI women there. It does very, very well for home service specifically. And so here's an example of some of the copy that we have. Home service companies are already replacing phone numbers with AI. It instantly books jobs, follows, and keeps your pipeline full, blah, blah, blah. Very straightforward, right? We're going to show them what it can do, what it saves them from doing, call to action. Call out the niche, what it can do, what it's going to save them from doing, and then call to action. So very straightforward. And I'm going to show you right now as well where this sends them. We send them to this funnel here, and go ahead. This is the exact funnel we use for home service. So go ahead, copy it. Don't copy it exactly, but copy the structure. You never want to copy word for word, but copy the structure of it, the layout, because it's very good. We have 3 demos down here specific for home service, but immediately it sends them to a survey, right to a survey. And they're going to click, do you own a home service business that offers service value of 2,000 or more? They're going to click yes. What is your approximate monthly revenue? Let's say 25 to 50K. How many leads do you generate monthly? Let's say that's a bit low. Let's say 1,000. What is your budget for this job? So how much are they comfortable? What's their budget for building this out to their business? Let's say it's $8,000. Next, and then they submit their full name. Let me do this here. Submit, and this will take them to the calendar page. If they pick certain things in that survey that they don't make 15K, or they don't offer services at $2,000 or more, then they won't get redirected to this page. They'll get sent to our free school, but now they get sent to this page to book a call. And on here, there's a couple more questions for them, website URL, confirmation questions here, and then they fill that out, and then they get sent to the thank you page, which is very, very important. The thank you page is amazing for the show up rate. Now we say, okay, awesome, congrats, your call has been booked, but important, complete these 3 steps now so our call will be productive. Watch this 93-second video. This is a very straightforward video. Me thanking them for booking the call, telling them to watch this video all the way through, telling them to confirm their invitation, which is also step 2 in this funnel, confirming yes that they're going to show up, because that's very, very important, because the show up rate will massively, massively increase when they click yes on this here. And so this is super, super important for increasing the show up rate. You will notice the show up rate goes up a ton just when they click that little yes button and confirm. We also have them reply yes to the text and email, all these micro commitments to say they're going to show up to the call. Then we also have our VSL again down here for them to make sure they watch before the call. So that's the ads that we run, sending them to this funnel. I just showed you our entire system. It's very straightforward. People overcomplicate the hell out of this. It's a very basic funnel, very basic ads, but they work. And that is how you're going to close clients in this space. Follow the same structure, regardless of what niche you're going after. Follow this structure and just change the copy and everything, of course, to match your specific niche that you're going after and your specific offer. And there's very important aspects to this, right? And so you need to convert the leads. That's the whole point. When they opt in, your only goal from the point they opt in to the point they book a call is to get them to book, because you need to have all the stuff in place that builds trust. Things like testimonials, content we send over our YouTube videos of me walking through the process, because I have videos breaking out what the entire fulfillment process looks like working with us. All that sort of stuff builds a ton of trust. So these businesses know, okay, this is what I'm going to expect with working with them. These guys look very professional. They know what they're doing. They have testimonials, all that sort of stuff. Goes a very long way to build trust and make the person show up, even more likely to show up to the call, more likely to convert, more likely to want to work with you. And so that is the process for acquiring the clients and generating the leads. Now, when it comes to closing the deals, now you've done everything. You've done everything right in terms of picking your offer, picking the niche, generating these leads, getting these leads to book an appointment with you. You got them to show up because you sent them all the right things, all the reminders, all the automations, everything like that. They're on the call. Now you need to close them. How do we do this? How do we close these deals? There's a few main ways. One is, of course, building trust, establish credibility through social proof and authority. Even if you don't have social proof, like we didn't at the start, the first 10 clients we closed, we had no social proof, no testimonials, nothing. But we spoke with confidence. We looked like we knew what we were doing. And then we learned as we fulfilled for these clients. So we made money in the process and we learned how to fulfill for these clients effectively. But you need to establish credibility. Credibility doesn't need to be just through testimonials. Credibility can be through, hey, this is what we're going to do for you. This is exactly what the steps are going to look like. This is exactly what you're going to expect once you pay, once you sign the agreement. This is what moving forward with us looks like. If you lay out every single step of what they're going to expect, you set the expectations, and you're talking with confidence and conviction, that builds credibility. You don't need testimonials. It's very rare that I even bring up testimonials on our calls anymore because of the fact that we've built enough credibility. You take a look at our YouTube video, my business partner and I, or our YouTube channels, we have tons of videos going over everything. We don't even need to bring up testimonials on our call ever because of the fact that we have enough credibility. And so that's where you want to get. But in the beginning, you don't have testimonials. So as long as you frame yourself properly, you don't need those testimonials. The second thing is streamline decisions. Facilitate decision-making with urgency and easy options. You want to show them that what they're currently doing, their current situation, because they're already interested, right? Everything in the process, the VSL, everything like that, leads them to be somewhat sold on you already. They wouldn't have booked the call if they weren't somewhat sold in some regard. And so now you just need to make them see that what you have is the solution for what the problem is they're looking to have solved. Because maybe they are, spending a ton of time managing their human dialers, whatever it may be. They're on this call for a reason. You want to ask things like, hey, what even do you want to book this call in the first place? What are you looking to do with the AI specifically? What problem are you looking to have solved with the AI? Why are you wanting to have this problem solved? What has this problem caused for you inside of the business? What sort of issues? What sort of problems has this what sort of things has this problem caused you in your personal life? Are you unable to spend more time with your family because there's things going on at work that are causing you to stress all the time? You're spending all this time managing these human dollars that can't perform, can't hit the quotas. Why are you looking to solve this problem now versus 6 months ago when it first came up? What has happened to get you to your breaking point where you're now finally deciding to take a step to solve this? All these questions. Okay, where do you want to be with this AI implemented? Why is that where you want to go? What is this going to do for you inside of the business? What is this going to do for you inside of your personal life? And then bridging the gap between their pain, their desired outcome, and showing that the AI, your solution, is what can get them there. Then you close the deal confidently and you lead into the onboarding process. And you need to prove that there's value. Of course, you need to prove that there's value. That's the entire process. From the point they opt in on the ad to the point they get on the sales call, everything before you even speak to them is about providing value, showing them they can get an ROI, showing them they can make them more money, save their business, scale their business. And when they get on the call, you're just further proving that for their specific situation. And so you need to prove value, show they can get an ROI, and that is how you close these deals. Now, we've covered identifying the business needs, selecting a profitable niche, how to develop a good offer, how to outreach these businesses, how to close these deals. So you got everything now. And a lot of people think the process stops here. You got the money, they're your client, you're good, you're in the clear. No, you're not. Not yet. You need to fulfill properly for them, or they're just going to leave, or they're going to get a refund, or they're going to demand a chargeback, whatever it is, right? And so now we need to deliver the AI solution. How do we go about delivering it? There are three main ways that we can deliver the AI solution. How to fulfill clients' needs. One is hiring a freelancer. 2 is learning and doing it yourself. And 3 is using an agency. So these are the options. 1 is do it yourself. There's pros and cons for all of these. You'll be able to clearly see which one's better though. So option 1, do it yourself. This is what we did the first bit, but it did get to a point where the builds were too tough for us because we're not developers. So you have to learn the tools, build the bots, and wire it all together. Pros, you keep all the money, you learn the tech, and you're in full control. The cons, it's time consuming, it's not scalable, and you will get stuck on advanced builds. Because if you have 10 clients coming through, you're not going to be able to do all these builds. It's good for your first few clients, but it's just not scalable. And so that's why we hired an engineer. That was actually our first hire, was an engineer, before Setter, before anybody, because we got to the point where it was like build 4 something. My business partner and I, we realized, hey, we can't do this build. And so we had to bring on an engineer right away. Option 2, outsource to Fiverr or Upwork. So hire freelance devs to build for you. Pros, it's fairly cheap. It's simple for basic tasks. The cons, inconsistent quality. There's no accountability because they might be overseas. They can disappear mid-project if they want, and they don't think strategically. They just build what you tell them to, which isn't great. Like our engineer, he's amazing. He thinks very critically. He's very, very good at what he does. He thinks for himself. He's smart, which you won't typically find if you're just hiring somebody on Fiverr or Upwork. And so you don't want to be babysitting freelancers when clients are paying you 10K. That's my mindset on it. That's why we hired an in-house dev very early, and we will always have, we call them solutions engineers, on our team, on our payroll, because they're great. And option number 3 is use a specialized dev team. That's what our partners do. We fulfill for all of our partners in our partner program. And like I said, if you want to check that, you can click the link below and book a call with us. We'll see if we're a good fit. But we do the fulfillment for all of our clients. They pay us a small percentage of the build. If they close a deal for 10K, they'll pay our team 1,000. We'll do the whole build for them. They don't even have to touch it. They profit the 9K and they can just worry about selling. And then eventually we'll place an engineer in their business so that they no longer need to use us and they have their own in-house developer who can do the build for them. And so you let AI engineers plus automation experts handle fulfillment for you. Pros, it's fast, professional. There's no tech skills required because somebody else is doing it for you. You focus on sales and scale and let the experts do the delivery. Cons, there's none. I guess you could say the con is that you do pay a percentage to the specialist. Like for us, it's 10%, which I think is very worth it. It's pretty standard if you were to hire a good solutions engineer. It'll probably be more, honestly. But you sell the vision and we build the machine behind it. So that's how you fulfill. Covered a lot in this video, guys. That was actually quite a bit. I hope this provided clarity for you, because these are quite literally the exact systems that we used to be closing these types of numbers here. $31,000 collected in the last 4 days. As you can see, $12,000 yesterday. We're 2 days into this month and we're at $12,000. But if I go here real quick, from to the first, which is a 4-day period, $31,000. That's by following these exact systems. Don't overcomplicate it. Follow what I laid out in this video and book a call if you want us to help you set this up. All right, I'll see ya.